You're on.
Okay, we're on. We're on camera now, everybody. Oh, I get to hit this. Okay, there we go. Anyways, welcome everybody, and this is our last meeting before Christmas, so we'll try to get this going as soon as possible. We've already been in open, so we're just going to go with the next thing would be the minutes of the previous meeting. Moved by Deputy Mayor Faulkner and second by Councilor Turton that the minutes of the November 17, 2014 council meeting be approved as circulated. Questions? All in favor? Okay. Additional items? Disclose other business. Anybody got additional items? Judy? And I'm pretty loose on this, so if anybody thinks they want to way through, feel free to bring it up. Okay. Resolutions. Moved by Councilor Dirksen, second by Councilor Anderson, the town of Minto council meetings in the committee of the whole. All in favor? Okay. No public meeting, no delegations. Public question period. No, not tonight. Thanks for coming out again. All right. Correspondence receiving for information requiring direction of council. Any concerns?
Yeah, Rich, in respect to the Prospects Street one, is that, are we getting a report from Public Works in respect to that one, or? Okay.
Mayor Bridge, yes, we will bring a report back.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor Bridge, through you, if you wish, you could include in your receiving of the correspondence a direction that report come back, and that's how you can track it.
Okay. All right. Scan and email. Motion to accept. Councilor Elliott. Councilor Dirksen, all in favor? Okay.
So, Mayor Bridge, that's with the rider that we
Yes.
prepare for report.
Yeah. Right around the report. Committee minutes for approval. We have Linda, we want it.
Mayor Bridge, if we could bring forward item number
Oh, yes.
13 as well, facade and signage grant.
That should move up. If that's all right with everybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
Motion by Deputy Mayor Walker and Councilor Turton, all in favor? I'll say that for a minute. All right. That should have been there anyways. Welcome.
Thank you. Very nice having you tonight. Mayor Bridge, members of council. So Kristen can't be here tonight, so I'm reporting on Launch It. Basically, from this meeting, the biggest thing to come out of that was our business flight program and some changes we're making to it, including the name of the program. It's a more official title and a process of moving people through Launch It. So what we're going to be doing is when someone is interested in working with Launch It, we will sit down with them one-on-one and kind of tell them for an hour about the program, what we're there to do, make sure that Launch It's the right fit for them. And then they will go through an assessment of their business and kind of review their business, and then we'll match them up with one of our mentors who will also meet with them and kind of go through their business as well. And that'll help us determine what kind of training they need going forward. Because right now people just sign up for the training and away they go. If they're tenants in our building, they're set up with a mentor and automatically in the program, but this is more of a way of actually identifying what their needs are so we can plan programs around their specific needs. So I think it's a good start. Another thing that we're changing to what we initially had was that it was $65 a month to be in the Launch It Business Excellence program. And what you got with that was 2 outside training programs, 1 internal. So you could do a program at Launch It and then go to any of our partner locations for free for 2 sessions. And then you get your mentorship training and all that jazz. So what we've done with this is instead of people going outside to our partner organizations for 2 free sessions, we're just going to offer 2 sessions a month at launch it for free. So they'll be able to do that. And then we'll definitely promote the other programs they can go to and get a discount on, but they won't be for free. So we'll be doing all of our training that's for free in-house and charging $50 a month instead of $65. So those are a couple changes. And then just some other highlights. One of the things is Shannon at the Minto Express is looking into some sponsorship opportunities in kind for helping us promote Launch It in the space that we have available. And we're also going to be talking to surrounding municipalities about how Launch It can benefit their businesses. We're all kind of in this together, and there's no need for their businesses to travel an hour to get services that are here. Just because they're not in Minto, there's no reason they can't partake in our program. So those are kind of, I guess, the highlights from that meeting. And our last meeting, we did strategic planning. We have another meeting January 7th. Will be our second strat plan meeting for the next 3 years of Launch It. So next year is going to be a big year. So I don't know if anyone has any questions.
Questions for?
No, thank you, Mayor Bridge. Belinda, come up with the brilliant idea of the online attraction. I think that's great. I mean, there's a lot of people that live here in Norwell and have left the area and really don't even know what happens in Minto. And for it to be told come May, I think that's a great idea. Certainly we can promote that.
Yeah, I'm going to be bringing in our forward plan for 2015, what our projects are. We had our implement for our marketing plan done up for our alumni attraction, and there's some really good tactics within that are totally different than anything anyone else is doing. And so we're going to be implementing that plan in 2015. So I'll be bringing back more information, I guess, at budget time for that. And yeah, it just happens that the Norwell 75th party is happening this year. So it's a great opportunity to promote what's going on, all the great stuff that's going on here, and the opportunities for our alumni to come. Okay, so then our facade.
Motion received, sorry, it's on that one. Councilor Swalwell. Councilor Burton, all in favor?
Okay, so our facade and signage grant. We can obviously see the picture on the back side. Scott and Liberty Post Light purchased this building in downtown Harrison, and they're in the process of gutting the interior of the building right now and making these amazing improvements on the front of the building as per our facade guidelines. So it's a great example of taking our guidelines and putting them into practice. Basically, it's a full max grant on both sides, so max 3,000 for facade and max 2,000 on signage, and that would tap out our facade grant for this year, which is okay because it's the end of the year.
That's right. Perfect timing.
So it's perfect timing, just in time. So this went through email vote through our Harrison Downtown Revitalization Committee and email vote through Economic Development Committee because it got canceled last minute. So unanimously in favor, everybody, and not only the movers and seconders, but triplers and everyone thought it was perfect. So there's no hesitation from the committees that reviewed the application.
Questions? Can you move that?
Yes.
Hello? Deputy Mayor Faulkner.
Thank you.
Thanks. All in favor? Yep. We did vote. Good. Now we did. Keep reminding me. All right, quick. I love it. I think it's gonna be great. That building needed that. Right. Next, Miller, Parks and Rec.
Mayor Bridge, we don't have a recreation staff member here today. I can do a summary, or Mr. Chair, did. The 2 issues that were raised with me, be really quick, is the grass cutting contract, which we have to bring back information to you on next meeting, and the possibility of closing Beehive Park in the winter. There was a lot of other discussion, but those were the 2 sort of action items I pointed out to you.
Let me just ask a question. Regard to the skate sharpener removals, is there any concern of safety issues with putting one in there? I mean, is it a sharp tool?
Still behind glass.
So these are vending machines, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
Taking them out.
Put the skate in, shut
Oh,
the
okay,
door.
it's not a tool that somebody uses to.
But we're actually taking the actual machine out.
They weren't making any money at all.
So what was suggested at the meeting was, if I could, what was suggested at the meeting is you can just take an edger. It's like a tool, so if you have a missing edge in your game or something, and your team doesn't happen to have one, you'll have one available to them, so that something take the shape and just put the edge back on it, quick, and you get it back to it. It's just,
Okay, so that was my, but there is, I'm assuming that's the tool you're talking about, taking up the ones behind it, putting some sort of tool.
Which is gonna be available to use, most teams carry it, but if they don't, then we're gonna have that made available to them to take that out, so we'll still provide some sort of service. People are getting afraid to use these vendors because there's horror stories about keep grinding away.
Sure, that's ruining the skate,
So
basically.
it's an automatic thing that goes in, but just even on skates are so fine, if you move up or down something, you could do an actual roller skate with it, so. And that is the reason for taking them out, the reason is our facilities manager said, Alcara said that, it was, space. He didn't use, and he said they're hard to use, so. Okay.
And I think if we get snow, we can eliminate the beehive problem. Put a bank up there, but right now they can go in.
That was said.
It's unusual, but we don't have any snow, we just wouldn't plow them, so.
An acre, we can never allow.
Yeah, we can maybe move snow up to it.
Right from the rear.
Yeah.
We never allow it.
Never plowed it anyways, I don't think, did we? No.
Just a question, would there be any advantage to continuing to have a garbage can there? Because as long as there's a garbage can there, people tend to use it, but no garbage can, then
Well,
somebody use it.
yeah, and I guess what the concern was, if you don't have a garbage can there, then they just throw it on the ground. But, I think, yeah, it's happening, because it's really never meant to be a all year round thing, but we just don't have gates, and then this year with no snow, it's created the problem probably more. Because it's not under actually, it's under Parks and Rec, which is a little hard for them to kind of just run out there and pick up the garbage. So, we'll look into it. You're gonna come back with whether you're gonna put gates on or not, right, and how much it's gonna cost if you decide to do that, but.
I don't think these were gonna.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Bridge. The one thing that was talked about, I'm not even sure it's on here. Al Carr had a list of all of our capital projects for the year. And, I mean, we allocate capital to spend. And Al and the rec department has done a great job this year. Every project that was set out, had the money spent.
Yeah.
And I know that they've done a pile of work and it's good. It's good to get, especially, when we set the money aside to do this work. And sometimes we don't get it done, but I'll tell you, it's been done this year. So,
Final thing is finished, and Al did a lot of work on it because we try to use local contractors too, and sometimes they're really been busy and delayed some of the work at times, but most of it's been done with local contractors too, so.
As I see you reported to the irrigation work on Curly like this.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, we haven't had any irrigation problems. Okay, can somebody move to accept the report? Councilor Curtin. Councilor Anderson, all in favor? Okay. This is you, Bill, right? Reports. CEO.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge. My apologies for the reiterations of the bylaw through email. I believe the media and the council has the proper appointments attached to their report. And we're doing our annual appointment bylaw so that we can get our committees moving forward with the new term. We need to get our representatives out to the Conservation Authority meetings, which are starting in January. I know you've had your many discussions internally as a group with the mayor and so forth, so our recommendation is outlined in page 2 of the report. is that you consider the bylaw on regular council, which will be later on, with council representatives on the Farmers Market, Clifford, Harrison, and Palmerston downtown. That gives a little extra horsepower to our excellent committees already. So those appointments are made there. And not identifying chairs except for the ones for the committee of the whole committees. That would be Fire and EMS, Public Works, and Finance, those chairs. And Committee of Adjustment, those chairs are identified, but all the other committees would go off and where there's an appointment, they can elect their own chair through their own process. I think that's a preferable way of doing it, so that's not always a councillor that's necessarily the chair of the committees. And also that the appointments would run with the term of council. Some of them have been a year, some of them have been 3 years. These are for the term of council unless someone absolutely does not want to continue, and we would let them off, of course, and have to reappoint. The one that's interesting is recreation, and we were looking at their terms of reference, and it refers to some dated legislation, so we believe this appointment here is probably the appropriate way to go. Referring to the Community Centers Act and the Tourism Recreation Board Act, which no longer really apply. So I think you have the right appointments now in your reports, and the file will come forward at a later date, later in the meeting.
Any questions now, or do you, now or? Everybody's got the right one right now. Everybody's got the right one. Not the one that's in your packet.
Beverage. I don't want to talk too much on this issue, but I did want to say, I think in the financial side of things, I did report that even with these extra committees that are added, and with your new salary structure, you still will, I believe, and this can be confirmed in the budget, that you will function for the next 4 years under your base budgeting for that work. So unless you have a bunch of special meetings and then you don't need to know.
It should work out.
Yeah, just a minor thing there, Rich, on the appointment bylaw in this, in our CAO alluded to the 4-year term, it does say 3-year term. So, up in the top right-hand corner, it's got
Page 2. Page 3 of this.
Okay.
We'll cover that off and get to that.
Yep.
That's not good. Okay, motion to proceed. Councilor Caldwell. Councilor Elliott, all in favor? Great. Next up. That's a care retirement. Okay.
Me again, Mayor Briggs. I've outlined the issue as it stands with this council. We started back on November 4th with the previous council and meeting that in which it was raised, I think, as an additional item. We brought back a report, having met with some of the representatives of Progressive Care back on November 14th. We met with them, and the previous council gave direction that we attend the public meeting, which we did. It didn't take the position that we wanted to oppose or not oppose the beds. It was just gathering information, which I think I've reflected in the report as best I can. We've heard, I know you've heard out in the community, and staff have heard as well, a variety of perspectives. The CEO of the hospital has been involved, the Len's been involved, a number of people have been involved in discussing this issue. I won't go into a lot of the detail, because the more we get into the detail, the more it seems we're into somebody else's responsibilities. But my recommendation to you is that we continue, it is set out in the recommendation of the report, and that is that the town expresses concerns regarding relocation of the 9 beds for Progressive Care, as it may reduce the long-term care options for local residents, at least in the short term. But in the event Progressive Care proceeds with relocating the beds, it stands by its commitment to us to maintain the long-term viability of the facility in Minto and improve care by reducing the size of wards and increasing the number of private rooms. And further, that council seek a delegation at the Ontario Good Roads and Rural Ontario Municipalities Conference with the Minister of Health and or other related ministries regarding maintaining strong, viable, long-term care options in rural Ontario.
That's trouble.
May I just ask, the recommendation that the town of Minto has concerns, et cetera, will that go in the form of a letter to Crescent Care, or how would that resolution be handled? Where would it go from here?
My recommendation is you would send it to the Ministry of Health, and then you would copy Crescent Care in on it. It would be part of the record.
Remember, at the public meeting was the Ministry of Health that actually did the public meeting, not Crescent Care, so that's where we have to direct it. Also,
To say, oh, wait, it makes sense to copy that letter to the mayor as well.
yes, I think so. So many layers.
Um, I had some discussion and I have some concerns about this issue. And as CEO White states, that it is a multi-layered affair. It just goes on and on and on and on. But the crux of the matter, as I see it, or a good part of it, is that it comes to light, appears to come to light, with just different funding formulas for the 3 different long-term care facilities within our county. And I think it would behoove us to look further into that to determine what exactly the magnitude of that is, and perhaps look at, is it our role to lobby the government to equalize the standards so that 3 homes have an equal basis on which to operate from. And I don't know if that's within our capacity or not, but I think we should at least investigate it, because I would suggest that sometimes there's a choice involved in whether our homes is full or not, and that we need to, if our role, should be our role to ensure that the senior care available to our citizens is the best that it can be, and that there needs to be an equal footing in order for that to be achieved.
And I think your point's well taken, Councilor Anderson. Just Junior, your mic up a little bit, just in case you're not getting picked up. Okay, on the telephone, that's good. Good. And I think that's what we can maybe have CEO White with the conversation, or with talking with the other groups that are involved. When we write a report, if we get a chance to be in front of the minister, I think that makes a lot of sense. So if you can take that into consideration, Bill, when you're talking and trying to, and if we get a chance to be there. I know some of the council have been with us at some of these. We've had the third-party liability. We have the insurance companies coming with us, and to talk to the minister as well. And those are kind of things that when we go to a minister, we usually come with some kind of an idea of what might work, and sometimes solutions. So, I to this point, it's going to take some research to figure out all the funding things, because I'm not even sure. I've been around, but definitely look into that, and into whether they're putting too many eggs in one basket. Just from the early blush, it's this idea of, and I like the idea of trying to keep people in their homes as long as possible. That seems to be where all the money's been going. And when talking to both our retirement homes and the long-term care side of things, our seniors are going into the homes much later in life in a more needy fashion, which basically I think what the government hasn't figured out, and being a nurse, you probably figured this out, is that when they are arriving at 88.9 age, they're in a state of dementia. They're in a state of needing a lot of care, where before they were coming in a little earlier, and they get around themselves and everything was doing, so now I don't know whether the fact we're keeping them in the home longer, that's great, and putting all that money to that, but are we shortchanging ourselves at the other end, and that's causing the problem we're running into.
And there is a very complicated formula for the nursing homes for the
I'm sure there is.
It occupies a great deal of their registered staff's time,
Yeah.
filling up those reports, which
Yeah.
then takes that time to do measures as well, which is one of the things they struggle with. when
So
they're
those are
trying to
things that maybe we can talk about and come up with a good report, and hopefully get in front of one of the ministers. I made that commitment to both parties, Crescent Care and Royal Terrace, that we'd like them to be involved in some of that discussion. Fair enough?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
We should also include the counties, because that's part of our facilities.
Well, yeah, and
in the
well, the
long
county.
run, same playing field is what we're talking about, so we got to talk about that too.
So what I'm hearing is I should copy, and if council does do this resolution, that would copy in the Lynn, Crescent Care, and the county. Might I suggest North Wellington Healthcare as well?
Good idea. Okay. Thank you. We need a mover. Would you, Councillor Anderson and Councillor Elliott, all in favor? Great, okay, very good. You're up again, Bill.
Yes, Mayor Bridge. Under the town pay policy, I'm obligated to bring forward to you each fall a report on what the cost of living was as of October. I've reported to you what it is for Ontario at 2.8, and I think for Canada it was 2.4. Under your pay policy, if you intend to give a cost of living increase to the staff, you need to pass a resolution to do that. My recommendation is that you consider a 2% increase subject to the 2015 budget. Also, under the new council remuneration section of your bylaw, unless you stipulate otherwise, that 2% would also apply to you. So I need your direction on whether you wish it to apply to your base pay amounts. And finally, just for clarification, the policy reads in there that if you happen to be not moving up in your pay grades due to performance issues, you're not supposed to get a cost of living increase. And I've asked if you are, and I would recommend we add a clarification in there that is the case. If there are any people who are not moving up in their grades this year, then they do not get a cost of living if it is approved.
Based on performance you're talking about.
Yes. Both increases would be based on performance.
Discussion. Councilor Paul.
I'm for the cost of living. We didn't do one last year. So I feel that, we might want to look at one this year. I'm not for council. We just went through this increase for ours. I think it's necessary to add on 2% as well. That's just my opinion.
Mayor Bridge, I agree with Councilor Paul.
I probably disagree, only because we went through that review, we set a standard, and if we start breaking that standard, then we're going to be right back to where we were to start with, and that's why I think it should be part of the process.
I agree with, Mayor Falkman.
Bad habits.
Yeah, sadly, I'll share. I just feel once you get into that, one of the hardest things to do is with the raise. If you get into a cost of living raise, then it's going to be something that you don't have to get yourself into in the years ahead and get to that position where my God, you have to raise. How do you do that? How do you give yourself a raise? And that's one of the most difficult things I ever deal with as a counselor. Because it's easy to talk to the public and say, I shouldn't get raised, but eventually you fall behind. And how do you get caught up? Unless you make one big raise, and then you look bad in the public's eyes too. So 2% of nothing is nothing. So.
Yeah, sure. I think we all should give us a little point on that. Yeah.
I would agree that this is the policy that's been set, and if we, and I agree that it's very difficult to, I'm sure it's difficult for all of you to account with the plan we did not that long ago, because that was, it had the perception of being a large
Yes.
right? I understand that it's not, but it's hard to explain that. So I would be on the side of leaving policy as is and accepting whatever.
I agree. I'm not that experienced with this now, and we know that there will be perceptions, as there always are, about councilors' pay, but rather than leave it as Councilor Elliott referred to it, that you leave it and you don't do anything, but and then you have this huge thing and you know for sure that's going to happen. So I think you're better to stick with the policy if that's what it's developed. if it's fair for the staff, then it should be fair enough for the council as well.
And, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to add one thing. We are talking very few dollars here.
Oh, yeah,
just so
that's-
we know.
That's
You know, and for council, we're talking less than $200 a year.
Yeah.
So
That's what I said.
it is small dollars, so I'll vote either way.
Yeah.
You're a good person.
So I can be talking.
Well,
Do you need a motion on that?
Well, hang on, I just want to make, I'll make a point on this too, but, I want to get everybody up to state first, but I tend to think that, when we went through, there hadn't been this in place, so we did perceptually, I think, Councilor Dirksen mentioned it, perceptually it looked like a massive increase, but there hadn't been anything in place since 2007. So I think we have to follow through with this if we feel we have it in the budget, and remember, this is reflected to budget. And I think when we see the budget, and I think CO White mentioned the fact that even though it looked like we increased our salary, we'll find that we'll actually come in with under budget, and probably with it under budget the way we restructured it. So when we're talking about a base salary, there's all these little things that enter into it. And I think at the end of the day, and I know where Councilor Paul was coming from, because she is our financial person and wants to make sure that we watch closely. But I think there is that thing, we don't continue on a regular basis. And to be honest with you, this is the common way here, this is the norm in most councils and how this works. So if your staff get that cost of living increase, and if we can't afford it, and there's no money in the budget to do that, then you have to deal with it, right? So, yeah, I'm sort of same thing. I don't want to go back to it. We have to look like a 30% increase because we haven't touched the thing in 7 years, and it wasn't necessarily 30%. But I mean, and there's no disrespect. The press printed it exactly to what it was. It was 30%, but there's the actual dollars, and then there's what ends up in the budget at the end of the day. How much you actually took out of that? You're allowed to go up to a certain level, but we can always work it out in the middle there.
Mayor Bruce, just sensing where the majority of you are, might I suggest the recommendation would be approved, and then you would end it at the words 2015 budget period. So we would record in the budget 2% pay grade increase for staff and who else was fine.
Also moved.
What's that?
All in favor of that? Opposed? Okay.
Mayor Bridge, I'm also going to be the clerical financial assistant.
Many hats today.
This is an attempt to get a calendar set for you. So it's a work in progress. The first correction I'd like to make is that Family Day is not on January 16th, but on February 16th. So please shift that over.
I thought we really had really stepped out of the boundaries here to change Family Day, but then we had that power.
And then if you move over to June, first council meeting would actually be on June 3rd, which would be a Wednesday, rather than June 6th. And I'm imagining that the Frank Kelly tournament, which traditionally you have shifted, would be on the 2nd. Then FCM is the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, which would be over the weekend. And then the council meeting on the 23rd, in fact, is on the 16th. And last but not least, we should reflect Canada Day, which would be July 1st. And with that, unless there are any other changes, the calendar as amended.
Yes.
Just had a question, our meetings appear to be on Tuesdays, but I think you said Wednesday, June 3rd, is that what you meant?
Mayor Bridge, if I may through you, that traditionally we've moved to Wednesday on that in first Tuesday in June because it conflicts with the Frank Kelly golf tournament, and there had a number of people who participated in that event. So that particular meeting would be on the Wednesday, 3rd.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what that is. Is that what?
Check the calendar.
Yeah, I'm just gonna check the calendar on that.
Should be right.
June the second is a Tuesday,
Okay.
right?
June
June
3rd.
third is a Wednesday.
It'll be a Wednesday, yeah. But the Kelly tournament's usually on the Tuesday. Yeah, that's, sorry, I think that's what Judy.
Council would be on
That's what I was gonna say. Okay?
So those changes, if we had a motion to accept the calendar.
Who's the council Turton? That was my deputy mayor, that's deputy mayor Paul Farrell. I was gonna say that once tonight.
You notice I've shaved my head?
You know what? Just give me a chance.
You know,
4 years, it's 4 years.
4 years. No worries, no
It only
worries.
took me 4 years to get it right.
No offense.
Now I gotta change it again. Okay. All in favor? There, this is fluid as it is. We try to get it, but there's times when things do come up.
Mayor Briggs, my clerk hat says it's less fluid, my CEO hat says sometimes it's fluid.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you it can be fluid.
And there,
If needed.
I always listen to what I hear. I'm gonna act as your chief building official. He doesn't feel tonight.
Oh, it's right on. You want extra money for this tonight?
That's at least 2% more. My apologies. Chief building official Kuipers is ill today. The November building statistics are before you. We're going to end up with a pretty good year end. If you note the $3 million industrial plan, we don't come upon those every day. And that was, I believe, the TG Minto expansion. So if that weren't in there, we'd be well ahead of last year's schedule. The indicator I like to look at is the single family, multiple family dwellings, which it's nice to see the residential up. The commercial is a little bit higher in value, but not as many permits. But overall, it's been a pretty good year. Industrial has been consistent, just around 3.2. And double the permits we've had. So, I mean, we're moving forward. I think it's nice he provides you with a chart you can kind of compare year after year, but I think we've had a healthy, productive building year in the municipality. And we look forward to seeing what the December statistics are, given that most people have been able to carry on their construction in wonderful weather. Our recommendation is just to receive that information.
Any questions on the report? Sorry,
Look,
question?
just a quick question. Tim Hortons, what's the official date until, for, is they having a grand opening? I heard two different dates, the 22nd and the 23rd.
22nd is what I was told.
I heard that like it was gonna kind of be soft opening on the 22nd and then,
I was told the 22nd.
yeah, well,
By
I
the owner, that's all.
was talking to him also.
Okay,
So,
so whatever he told you.
that was a while back.
Okay.
Mayor Bridge, so it's either the 22nd or 23rd. They can't hear our building, our economic development manager. But we have not been invited to anything formal, so at this point, I don't have invites to an opening, but it's either the 22nd or the 23rd.
So we'll try to get everybody a copy. And I believe, Belinda, you mentioned the fact that they had a job fair. You want to maybe mention about that? I think it's kind of important that.
Sure. Right. Yes, they had a job fair on November 29th and they had 50 people come out and they were really pleased with the turnout. They were able to hire for all positions except for a couple weekend production shifts. And they're happy with the support that we gave them for getting the word out there about that. And I can send an email to Tracy and Justin and find out when
That was the day I
official. Okay, yeah, he told me the 22nd, so I can get a
And
confirmation.
we'll let the council know when there's going to be an official opening of some sort.
Yes, I don't think that will be the official.
No, I think they're going to have a soft opening.
Yes,
Okay, sorry.
May we know the owner?
yes.
Yes.
It's Tracy Crum, and him and his wife are from Windsor. And he's worked for corporate Tim Hortons for about 15 years. And so this is their first opportunity to have their first store, and they will be moving to the area. They are temporarily renting right now, so they find a place.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge. Belinda, have they been the owners from day one?
I'm not sure at what point they got the franchise, but I'm trying to think, I talked to Tracy probably the end of October.
Yeah.
And before then, we've been really talking to Phil Lapley, so.
Thank you. Good.
So do we vote on that? We can vote.
Motion to receive, I think we just have.
I have the motion received. Everybody in favor? Vote, yeah, good.
Mayor Bridge, the mid-rise wood frame construction report is for information only. Those of you who were at AMO will recall feeling somewhat lobbied by the concrete industry regarding these changes to the building code. But they are now in place, and the CBO wanted to let you know that they were in place. And that if you had to ask him, I would think that he feels that public safety is protected by these changes. Basically, what it means is you can now have a wood frame building that is 6 stories in height, whereas previously, I believe you only allowed a 4-story wood frame building. The fire separations are done differently in a wood frame construction, and as opposed to a concrete construction. The issue that he points out in the report is that it's pretty hard for you and me to modify a concrete building, but you and I might be able to modify one that's wood frame and drywall. But be that as it may, the changes have been made. The province believes this will help with affordability. At the end of the day, we don't have any 6-story buildings here anyway. But it was provided for information. If you have a lot of detailed questions beyond that, maybe we should table this till the CBO is not available.
Good. And I believe the fire chief was involved in some of the fire changes that were instituted, so this is on the Ontario Fire Chiefs Board. So, I was happy with it. Motion to accept. Councilor Turton. Councilor Caldwell, all in favor? I was all ready to get you right there. Throw that at me. All right. Continue.
Mayor Bridge, this is my last report to you as CBO for the municipality. It pertains to the public works staff being appointed as bylaw officers during the snow removal period. I believe last year we appointed a public works director and also Mike McIsaac, our road superintendent, to issue tickets if there's overnight parking in the wrong spots that impacts on snow removal. We're recommending that we add Ryan Hill as a second and third officer to do that. And this is only to enforce that particular bylaw. And so far, we haven't had an issue whatsoever.
Yeah, always. A motion to accept. Deputy Mayor Faulkner. Okay. Councilor Gibson. All in favor?
Sorry, who was seconded?
Judy.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I'm turning it over to Councilor Caldwell.
And the Treasury Department has 4 items on the agenda tonight. And go out of order. So the first item that I've asked the treasurer to report on is the approval of accounts for November 21st and December 8th.
Okay, thank you, Chair Caldwell. We've got 2 check runs, and actually the smaller one, the only $500,000 one, has a few more items on it than the big one. We have $83,000 in aid gravel, and that's for surface treatments. We put up the fence along by the school pathway for $8,500. On the 16th line, one of the final components to get completed for $33,000 for Smith there, so we can drive on it. We got a new roof at the Clifford Lagoon for $7,000, and another $98,000 on the force main project, which is between Harrison and the sewer system. $53,000 more in water meters, and we're getting down to the final stages of that project. Generators, the sewer and water departments have purchased their generators, and I think we have about $70,000 budgeted, and it's $54,000. And these are ones that they can move around and prevent lengthy power outage. And if any of you have had an opportunity to visit the town hall theater lately, the washrooms are they're wonderful. Yeah, another $30,000 too.
Sure.
Yeah, it's great. So those are the highlights in that run. The 2.2 million, 1.8 million of that is payments from county and school boards. 111,000 is a payment on the fire comfort, and I think that's for the chassis, so we have another similar amount to come yet. We've been donating and supporting our friendly engineers, probably doing about 50,000 between Fleetwood and Triton, so a lot of design work and project management costs there too. And another $9,000 towards the Harrison Horseman project.
Just one thing.
Yeah.
Chair Caldwell. Who do we buy the generator through?
Summers.
Summers?
Summer.
At that time.
I'm just gonna have to charge for the streetlights.
Okay, the street lights, that's the Toronto street. So it's we did 2 streetlight projects this year, so we did the whole LED replacement. And that's wrapped up in that project. But the Toronto streets, that's the one by, kind of between the school and the Minto, where the residents are doing enough lights. So we budgeted that separately.
Put in additional.
They happen on.
Councillor Turton.
Thank you, Chairman Colwell. For the fire service, I think 2 of the 3 departments get their payment for their hours over the year at Christmas time. Is that administration? Would that be under administration?
No, it'd be under fire.
It would, okay.
Yeah, and that's why we want to bring those here in review. You really got to put that in mind because they look great all year and then.
They deserve that.
Are there any other questions? Okay, then the recommendation is that the council of the town of Minto receive the treasurer's report dated November 21st and December 8th, 2014 regarding approval of accounts and approve the town of Minto accounts by department for November and December 2014. Can I have someone move that motion, please? Councillor Gertson, Mayor Bridge, all in favor? And the motion is passed. Then the next item on the treasury is the Community Infrastructure Fund formula-based funding.
Right, so one of the long acronyms, so this is the NCIF that was introduced a couple months ago. This is the one where we don't have to apply for it. We get it based on a relatively complex formula. It's partly our population, our weighted assessment, amount of roads we have, all that. Bottom line, we're getting $130,600 for the next 3 years. It's a 10-year program, but we're going to do it after the end of 3 years. So it's a 42-page agreement, it's in this council. Basically, it states that you get the money probably around the end of March, and you must spend it before the end of the year. You must report on how you spend it before the end of the year. So that kind of translates to want to do it on a project that you can start on spring, summer, fall, and that it's got to be on core infrastructure. That's roads, bridges, water, and wastewater. So I'm sure we'll be able to come up with a project. I don't have to decide that. I need to top it, but you do have to pass this agreement before the end of the year.
Is there any questions? I just have one, and it's just a typo. I think the plans must be sued. The guy. The third line down under discussion. Is it suited? I think it's
Used.
Oh, used. Okay, used.
But yeah, we again, as a management planning, we have to consider that to put it on that top side.
Okay. Is there any questions?
I'll move to receive the treasurer's report.
Okay, moved by Councillor Turton that we receive it. A seconder, please. Councillor Elliott, all in favor? Then the motion is passed.
And just a side note, we're sending the applications for the formula-based OCIF and the SCF, which is the Small Communities Fund, Thanks to public works and engineers and county staff, so cross our fingers, so we'll make that work, so I'm here on that one.
And then the third item is the appointment of auditor.
Okay, so, it's a statutory, duty that we must have an auditor in place. Our previous auditor wanted to bring this forward 3 months ago, but the election going on, hold on for now. He's putting out a proposal, for this year of 19,000, 19,600 next year, and 20,200 for 2016. Now, anything in addition, like, there's a positive grant or special consulting like that would be on top. This would probably be basic on. And, you know, it has been a few years since we went to tender, but Mr. Richmond came far under and he's local.
May I just ask how this compares to the 2013? Was it?
Yeah, it was, you know, 18,000, 900 or so,
Are there any questions? Yes, Councillor?
There's no fear of obligation to tender. We don't have to.
it's not statutory duty, you know, it's, so I can say more, but.
It's exempt under our purchasing bylaw from having to tender, so we can sole source that. Also,
The recommendation is that the council of the town of Minto receives the December 8th, 2014 report from the treasurer and consider approving the audit appointment bylaw later in the session. Moved by Deputy Mayor Faulkner, seconded by Mayor Bridge. All in favor?
DMF,
It is a mouthful.
Yeah, make sure your name.
DMF.
And the final item is tax collector minutes and settlement assessment.
Well, for the benefit of everyone, this arises kind of 2 different ways. Somebody makes an appeal, or we discover in error. So this is the property assessment corporation. Figures out what we change it to be an assessment, and then we recommend through as to the back in past. This is the opposite of the building permit. It's never going to be a positive. It's always a negative. And the primary reasons might be the assessor comes out, so whether that structure has deteriorated or become obsolete. That's one. One of them, you can have a wetland, and if you appeal to the Ministry of Resources, you need to do the application, it comes to the property assessment corporation, and it comes to us. And also, if you take your taxes to the assessment review board, they say, yes, the taxes are too high, then it comes down here. Now, the only slightly less bad news is we can charge back the county and the school board. So even though it's $40,000, it's only $13,000 from the town.
May I ask Treasurer Jeff what the conservation tax rebate is?
Yes, and that's wetland.
It's
So,
wetland,
yeah,
okay.
so, and it's a great benefit to the property owner because it becomes exempt, like zero tax.
Oh, zero tax.
Zero tax.
Okay. Are there any questions?
Yeah.
Yes, Mayor Bridge?
Yeah, we looked at this a little while back, because we're really in a tough situation here. The county went to bat on this, and we were just flatly impacted 6 million. Because I had no problem, but at the same token, like, why should the municipality, we're protecting the wetlands for Ontario, right? And the municipality takes a hit. So I don't have a problem with the concept. I have a problem that it's done to the municipality, because again, we're constantly getting hit with these little things that, you know, I mean, it doesn't seem like much, but if you take $1,100 to us, it's quite a bit. You look at overall taxes. So I don't have a problem with the property owner going, because it's there and saying do it. By the same token, this should be a bit more. So much that I had only got my rant about farmland, but farmland, again, I have no problem with the fact there should be some kind of help on the farmland side of assessment. But it used to be the province looked at it and put it against everybody. But no, now it's just that the municipality takes a hit. So this is another one of those. I think it's a good program, but it should be shared across the whole.
Mhm.
That's my brand.
And, Deputy Mayor Faulkner, did you have a question, or were you going to move?
Just, my question was on the, in the respect to once it's designated wetland, which I believe includes river flood
Yeah, as long as it's,
and flood.
green land,
Yeah.
or like the province is trying to encourage about making intensive wetlands.
Yeah, but just people have to understand, I believe there's some fairly strict parameters go along with that. You're not gonna, no,
You can't do anything with it.
can't do anything with it, so just,
That's right. You have
those
to
parameters
maintain
should be
it.
understood as well.
Okay, are there any additional questions? Then the recommendation is that the December 2014 report is attached with regards to assessment adjustments be approved. And have someone make that motion, please? Councillor Dirksen? No, Councillor Churton, all in favor? And passed, thank you, and I turn the chair back to Mayor Bridge.
I'll turn it over to Councillor Kurt.
Thank you, Mayor Bridge. We've got two items on the public works agenda tonight. We have one for sure and possibly a second one.
I want another 80.
But the first one is to do with the Harry Stokes parking lot winter maintenance, whether to do it or whether not to do it. So, I'll ask our public works
Well, that's
director.
basically, why we're here is to find out what, the council would like to do, whether they would like to, have this new lot that was made, or put in this past fall. Whether it should be maintained by our staff, or whether we want to, send out as a tender RFP. And we went under an agreement with the partnership, of the land, and, made it into a municipal parking lot. So, with the town paying the capital and maintenance costs under this 20-year agreement, the business owner pays capital costs back to the town if the public parking needs to be eliminated. And, just add to this that this parking lot is important, very important to the downtown, and is crucial under the new road construction that's going to be taken next year. So we're just looking for direction from council to see how we want to approach the snow removal and maintenance of this parking lot.
Any questions?
Here,
Councillor Caldwell.
for you, Councillor Churton, other than with very extreme heavy snowfalls, would this be a burden to our staff?
No, not necessarily. We're out doing the parking lots now, which we have since 2012, so it won't be that much of an impact to us.
Mayor Bridge.
And I think when we decided to do this, we had the additional truck.
Correct.
So we did it, and what we used to do is, we had people doing the snow removal, but we were still doing the salt and the sand.
That's
So we were visiting the parking lots anyways, so this is why we thought
That's
it made sense.
If we were there, they removed the snow and we sand and salted it. We were there anyways, so.
Councillor Dirksen.
So obviously this lot was being cleared by someone in the past. But I'm assuming we need to put this out to tender if we're going to ask someone else to do it.
That's
And, I mean, I know it doesn't look like winter out there right now. There is winter. What
That
would
could
you
change
think,
over.
exactly, what would you think the timelines would be to tendering it out? Or asking for bids, or looking for RFPs, whatever,
I could get it out ASAP.
and have someone in place by January 1st?
No, I would say mid-January, but we could maintain it up to that point. We got line painting to do in the spring on it, and we have some signage that I've ordered. We'll be going up pretty shortly as soon as I can.
Okay, but this question is really just asking about the winter snow, right? Tonight, that's all.
That's correct.
We're discussing.
Yeah, snow plowing and removal.
Councillor Elliott.
Thank you so much. Basically doing parking lots, you push the snow, right?
Some cases.
Yes, so, you keep pushing it in the winter like you did last year. Then you have to bring in big snow blowers and stuff and.
That's correct. To blow it back. Yeah.
So does that, how's that cost work out? How does that make it cheaper?
Well, last year was an unusual year, as we all know, like we got hammered last year, this past winter, so we might have a mild winter this year, nobody can predict that.
So it's just, you have people available, you've got on-call people that private groups that would come in and blow snow, or would you get our own snow blowers, or how was that?
We
We
put out
probably
a
need that.
tender, this past fall for snow removal downtown. We had with one person, a temper that, put in for that tender, and that was, not good. Anyways, there was only one and he got
Yeah.
it was a short meeting. I can't think of that was. Do you remember what it was?
I don't know, what is-
No, I don't think so. Yeah, that's what it is. It was, yeah.
Start with A.
Yeah, I just couldn't.
So, well, okay, I just, if we add this, and don't put it out as a tender, and we just push the snow around.
And if we needed somebody to push it when we cleared the streets downtown,
Yeah, and your first priority obviously is you hit the streets, right? And of the country, get the roads cleared, so people can get off to work. But quite often, like in an arena or a parking lot in Harrison, when people gotta get off the roads, you guys are so busy cleaning the streets, your parking lots become secondary or even third or fourth, because you might have to take a couple miles on roads, right? Or whatever.
see, we have priority streets, our plows go on our priority streets, no matter what.
Okay,
Sidewalks are done with the sidewalk unit plows.
Right.
The only time we have a contract come in is to remove the snow that's already built up on the sidewalks, that's been plowed off the road. So they come and remove that. So they would be the ones that go in to blow back the snow in the parking lot.
okay, so if we're in a snowstorm, where does that lie? Where's the parking lots lie in the priority list? Like, all I'm saying is, sometimes the parking lot is as important as the road, because people gotta get off the roads.
Yeah.
To be able to park, or if they're going to work.
Our one plow does the parking lots for the arenas.
No matter what, they won't be on the road.
No, we have separate plows for that, plus we have an additional plow on the front of our pickup truck, our patrol truck.
So in an emergency situation, somebody ever driving in the parking lot, we use that as a backup place for. Before you can get. Thanks.
Councilor Elliott, would you like to make a prediction on the snow this year?
I certainly would.
CAO White, you're next.
I appreciate your time, Matt. And I appreciate your time, Jack. I do appreciate it.
Go ahead.
I think the Director of Public Works answered when I was going to make about the tendering process. We did only have one bid on that. And they'll be called in if we need be to remove snowbanks.
Correct.
I guess the other point was the 2004 top pick. This only works so long as we have that. If you have to add a vehicle into the removal, then we have to relook at the financial part of that.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
That's the issue.
Thank you, through you guys, attorney. What is your request? What is your request? What is your preference? Can your people handle
Yes,
That depends whether it's snow or not.
it?
we handle anything. I want to leave it up to council to decide, to make that decision, whether or not you want an RFP, whether you want to tender it out, or whether you want our public works staff to do it.
I would make a recommendation that our public works staff do that lot, and if it becomes an issue, you come back to council and we change that.
So let's have a look at the recommendation here. We might have to just add a few lines to it. So if there's any other questions? Okay, so the recommendation then is that the council receives the Public Works Director and CDO clerk's report dated December 9th, 2014 regarding winter maintenance, Harry Stone's parking lot, and the council provide direction on whether winter maintenance should be subject to private quotation. And Councillor Faulkner is making a motion Sorry, Deputy Mayor Faulkner is making a recommendation that we allow the Public Works Department to go ahead and do the snow. Can I have a seconder for that, please? Thank you, Mayor Bridge. Any other comments? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion? Against? You want to be noted? All right, that's carried. Thank you very much. So I'll pass the chair back to our mayor.
Thank you. That was exciting. I'm banking on no snow, and it's fine with me. I have no problem. They can make it for the ski hills, and we don't need it out there. And I have no control. Okay, coming up next is other business. Dispose of additional items, and I'll call.
So number 13 is already.
No, they already did that one. That's why I said you don't have to. You took that one away from you. You're taking too long as a person. Anyways, no. Ron, Deputy Mayor Faulkner.
Okay, two quick items. Number one, we had a meeting with all the landowners that are going to be involved in the International Pond Match 2016, held at the train station, and the Ontario Pond Association sent their president and chief administrator and two other directors up, and it was all negotiated out, and so we have that behind us now. So I'm excited about that. And the second thing, on behalf of Anne Marie and I'd like to wish everybody here a Merry Christmas, and I'm so proud to be working with you folks. Thanks.
Councilor Elliott.
I'd like to wish everyone here and all the public a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
At the risk of being redundant.
You were thinking. I think everybody eventually would want to do that.
Okay, so, I would like to wish everyone a blessed Christmas and a happy, healthy, and prosperous 2020.
Very good. Very good. Great one. Councilor Anderson, did you want to say anything?
No. If I could pick something original, I would, but I'll hold on for that.
Yeah. And I didn't have anybody, oh, yeah, I didn't have anybody else unless they're,
Now that we all got our new calendars, everyone, it is, I'll remind you again, but the AGM for the annual general meeting for the Chamber of Commerce is Monday, February the 2nd at 7 p.m. And I would also like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and the best in 2015. And I hope tonight we're going to have a sing-song. Well, we always did every other year. We always say we wish you a Merry Christmas.
yes, we did. Well, we'll do that at the end.
Yes, thank you. Mayor Bridge.
Hopefully we got some good voices.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing. I'd like to wish our staff and our citizens of the town of Minto and press and everybody else Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
I'll save mine to the end. We'll do it for the same song, I guess. And everybody has to sing. That's scary. No, sorry.
Just one. And I think this is very important. I want to congratulate you, and I think our council are very proud of you that you became warden of Wellington County, and we sure appreciate you doing that for us and for the county.
You bet.
Councilor Anderson is chairman of Social Services, is that correct?
That's great.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We could have been there, my grandson was playing hockey, yes.
You're gonna come up with a new
So no
excuse.
pressure, but we're looking forward to big things.
Thanks, Councilor. Actually, I'm gonna really be leaning on you, this table, a little bit, and hope you're all right with that. I think I'd asked the previous council if I went for it, if they'd help me out, and they indicated, I'm sure our two new members will help me out too, so. Because it's really important that we continue with all the functions we can go to, and there's gonna be some that I'm gonna be double booked, and I'm gonna need help from everyone, so. I'll let you know when I call on you, and hopefully you can help me if that's all right. Thank you very much. Moved by Councilor Elliott, second by Deputy Mayor Faulkner. The Committee of the Whole convenes in regular council. All in favor? It wouldn't be so bad if we came right?
You could read them.
Moved by Council Church, second by Council Caldwell, that the Council of the Town of Minto ratifies the motions made in committee of the whole. All in favor?
Mayor Bridge, since this is our first meeting with motions in this fashion to some people, this is the bylaw to adopt the agreement to share chief building official services with North Huron.
All right. Moved by Councilor Elliott, second by Councilor Anderson, the bylaw number 2014-87 being the bylaw to authorize a shared service agreement for building inspectors for the Township of North Huron be introduced and read first, second, third time and passed open council and sealed with seal of corporation. All in favor?
Mayor Bridge, this is a bylaw to adopt the OSIF agreement.
Moved by Councilor Caldwell, second by Councilor Curtin, bylaw number 2014-88 being the bylaw to authorize the mayor and the CEO clerk to sign an agreement for Her Majesty the Queen and the right of Ontario as represented by the Minister of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs regarding the Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund formula-based component be introduced and read the first, second, and third time and passed an open council and sealed with seal of corporation. All in favor? Oh, that is a long name. Hope that's a short one on that.
Mayor Bridge, this is the appointment bylaw.
Moved by Deputy Mayor Faulkner and Councilor Caldwell that the bylaw number 2014-89 being the bylaw to appoint community and council members to committees for 2015 to 2018 council term be introduced and read first, second, and third time and passed open council and sealed with the corporation. All in favor? Great.
This bylaw appoints our auditor.
Moved by Councilor Dirksen, second by Deputy Mayor Faulkner, that the bylaw number 2014-90 being the bylaw to appoint David Rickenback, CA, as the town auditor for 2014-16 be introduced and read the first, second, and third time and passed by the council and sealed with seal of the corporation. All in favor?
Mayor Bridge, this is a bylaw to appoint Ryan Hill as a bylaw officer to enforce overnight parking.
Moved by Councilor Turton, second by Councilor Dirksen, that the bylaw number 2014-91 being the bylaw to appoint Ryan Bell as bylaw officer for the purpose of enforcing the parking bylaw be introduced, read first, second, and third time passed with the council and sealed with the corporation. All in favor? Parking, right? No parking. Yeah, parking, no parking.
This bylaw passed with confirm the proceedings of today's meeting.
Moved by Councilor Anderson, second by Councilor Elliott, the bylaw number 2014-92 being the bylaw to confirm the proceedings of December 16, 2014 committee and council meeting introduced and read first, second, third time and passed on the council and sealed with seal of the corporation. All in favor? Moved by Deputy Mayor Faulkner and second by Councilor Caldwell, the council of town Minto adjourned to meet again at the call of the mayor. All in favor? And we're gonna sing, and I just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everybody. And we're now going to, who's gonna lead us in the, you're the official singer.
Deputy Mayor, I'm very unprepared.
What are we gonna sing?
Yeah, what are you gonna say? Okay, Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.